Baby girl, please do not waste your energy on people who have showed you multiple times that they do not deserve it. Just sit back, watch them fuck up their own life. Today I'm going to talk about how karma works, but not in the sense of the universe. I cannot tell you what the universe can do, but I can tell you what humans can do. And today we're going to explore how the person that did you dirty is going to suffer in the way that they deserve it without you even doing anything and without you even wasting your precious energy. Let me explain. Let me start off by sharing a story from my own life so maybe you can relate, and then we'll go on from there. So basically, when I was a little younger, I met this guy and I thought that he was my twin flame. And because I was so sure that this was meant to be, I allowed a lot of things that I should have never allowed and that I normally never would allow. And what happened was, this guy basically, he didn't want me to be really close to him, but he also couldn't really let me go. And what he would do was he would hook up with other women and then afterwards tell me about it to kind of prove to me that he was still independent and that he could do whatever he wanted to do. Now I really laugh about it because back then I just didn't know what love was, and now that I'm with the love of my life, actually, I know that a relationship is meant to be way different and that the universe has way different things in store for you and that you never run after love that hurts as much as this did. But back then, I just didn't know what love was, so I fell for it. This guy, as I said, he did me plenty wrong, and I was living with my parents back then, and I was really in a bad phase of my life. Like, I had to rebuild my life from scratch completely. So I was really depressed, and I was just at home, sitting in my own little cave. Meanwhile, he was out there with his girls and with his friends, and he was always partying, and it looked like he had the best life ever. And to me, it had really felt like I had lost in a situation. I was just sat there completely powerless, and of course I wanted to seek revenge. Of course I wanted to do something because that was just terrible. And this guy even got into a relationship. I had no other choice than to focus on myself and to rebuild my own life. And so I did. I started going to the gym, I started taking care of myself more, I started going out with friends, and I eventually met the partner that I'm with now. And I was slowly starting to do better, and I was just focusing my energy on me. I did nothing else. I was just taking care of myself. And it wasn't like this crazy taking care of myself and I did everything perfectly. I was just focusing on myself. A couple of months had passed. I was doing way better. And one night I was just sitting there, and this guy that had hurt me, he called me. And I was like, why would he call me? Like, why would he do that? And he called me and I picked up, and he was crying, and he told me that he had completely ruined his life and that a bunch of bad things happened to him, and that he had cheated on his new girlfriend with a girl that he hooked up with when we were previously talking. And I was just sat there like, huh. Like, you never want to be happy when someone else is miserable, but in this case, like, this guy has caused me so much pain over such a prolonged period of time. I was just like, oh, finally, he got what he deserved, and he also had no friends left, and he was just completely distraught. I gave him my advice. I was a kind girly, and I moved on. I got with my partner. I'm at the best place that I have ever been in my entire life. Like, socially, with my friends, with my work, I live in my dream apartment, I have my dream job, like my dream everything. Meanwhile, he was completely distraught. I don't really know what he did afterwards, like after he had talked to me, because there is no contact whatsoever, but I know that he clearly suffered. Like, he really suffered. And so I kept asking myself, like, what was the reason? Like, why did this happen in this specific way? Because the first thing that your brain wants to go to if something like this happens is always like, oh, well, because you cannot mess with me. I'm so divinely protected, and the universe is just always looking out for me, and but I knew that this wasn't the case in this situation and that there was something deeper behind this. You may argue that the universe had a hand in this, and it definitely had to some extent. But the way I can ensure that you will see the person that hurt you get their karma is because of a different thing. There is a mechanic at play that I'm going to explain to you now. It's all in the way that you're making your decisions and why you're making your decisions. When you have low self-worth, you tend to chase things that give you a quick fix for your ego so that you feel better about yourself right here, right now. You don't really care about delayed gratification. You want to feel validated. You want to feel better in the now. You tend to make decisions that are bad for you and that don't consider other people. You don't even consider yourself, because if you truly care about yourself, you never decide to do something that hurts you in the long term. You will always choose something where you may feel discomfort in the now, but you know in the long term you will be fine, you will be okay. But when you're a person with low self-worth, you're always going to chase that ego push, and you're not going to care who you hurt. It may even benefit you if you hurt someone. That may be the thing that gives you a bonus. So what happened in this situation, if you're making decisions from that point, like if you're making decisions from that broken ego point, you're always going to hurt people. And those are exactly the situations when it comes to cheating, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to everything like this. Drugs is actually a perfect example for this, and I'm going to explain it later. But basically, when you're a good person and you have a good sense of self-worth, not perfect, but you have a good sense of self-worth, you gain nothing from hurting another person. You gain nothing because you know exactly that short-term gratification that you get from drugs and from fake people and from hooking up with someone, it will only make you feel worse in the long term. So why would you choose that for yourself if you care about yourself? This doesn't make any sense, so you don't make those decisions. And you also consider other people, because why would you want to hurt anyone? You gain nothing from it. In fact, you will feel worse from it. So when there is a situation, for example, like you date someone and you find out in your brain that this person isn't for you, like your values don't align, there is something that is not matching up, you would then just go and tell that person. There is no use in you going and playing with that person's feelings, and then when you're bored you hit them up again and you give them hope again, and you don't want to give them hope, you just let them be. You know what I mean? It's not that you gain anything from having them around. If they aren't a match for you, you just let them go, and that's fine. You don't need that. But when you're a person who's making bad decisions, who comes from this broken ego perspective, you will always have someone as a backup in your brain, because you cannot stand being alone. You cannot stand being by yourself, and this is why you play with people, because every time it's convenient to you, you just pull them back in. When you keep making decisions that are only beneficial to you in the short term, you will inevitably get to a point where all of those consequences roll in, and they likely snowball together. And this is what happened in the situation with this guy as well. He wasn't facing the universe in this sense. He was only facing the consequences of his own actions, that he was incapable of being loyal to another human being, and he was crushed by his own decisions. This is what happened, and this is what will happen to the person who hurt you as well. Maybe the universe conspires against them, but there is a big chance that they are just going to face the inevitable consequences of their own actions, and this is what is going to happen, especially if you walk through life so carelessly and you don't care about anyone and you never consider anyone. This is also a thing. You don't have to be a people pleaser. I'm not telling you about be a people pleaser and you're just always going to be fine. That's not what is happening. What I'm telling you is you just don't play with people. This is all I'm asking of you, you know? You just don't, just because you're bored, you're hurting someone's feelings. You don't use people. This is what I'm talking about. What can we learn from this situation? Maybe the universal karma will also hit. Maybe this is what is going to happen to that person. But you don't go and waste your energy on someone. Don't do any petty shit that you normally wouldn't do. Like, I didn't go up to his new girlfriend and told her all the stories that he, and there were a lot of stories, you can believe me with that. Like, I didn't do any of those things, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't go out of your way to hurt him or to make him feel something. If that person would have cared about you in the first place, they would have never treated you like this. This is also 100%. Like, if you truly love someone, You will never risk losing them in that way. This is not what is going to happen. You gain nothing from wasting your limited energy on someone who doesn't even care about you in the first place. Focus that energy on yourself and just sit back and watch. Go to the gym, buy yourself a new wardrobe, eat clean, meet friends, meet your family, do all of those things that are really beneficial to your soul, and not just like a hit, like drugs, like hooking up with someone random. Just do what is good for you in that situation. I want to come back to this drug analogy for a second because it's really important in this scenario. Remember, like in the beginning, I thought I was really behind because he was out there with his friends, with his girlfriend and everything, and I was depressed. This is not the truth. This is the same high as when someone is just taking drugs. This is the same situation. Imagine two people, okay, and they both go through a breakup, and one person, they are taking care of themselves, they are taking care of their soul, they're healing, they're grieving and everything, and they're slowly getting better. Meanwhile, the other person is just taking drugs to numb the pain. In the beginning, it's gonna look like, oh, the person that is taking drugs and is just partying, they don't even care at all, they are just fine. But what will happen, feelings don't just magically disappear, you have to live through them. Not only will all of those feelings build up inside of you, you're also inevitably going to have a drug problem. And then after a certain period of time, you're going to face those feelings and they're going to hit you even harder. And on top of that, you have an issue with drugs now. And you thought you were ahead of the other person. You thought you had it going for yourself, but you just numbed yourself. You played yourself. And this is what is happening in those situations. Those people who have those ego issues, who make bad decisions for themselves, who cannot consider the long term. In the short term, it may look like they have everything they ever wanted, and you lost and you can never recover from this. But just give it a little bit of time and wait, because this person, they're going to do the work themselves. They're going to fuck up their own life, and also they can only pretend to be someone else for so long. If they have like a new girlfriend, look at this situation again that I told you about. In the beginning, I thought, oh, he's with this new girl, he's going to treat her so amazingly and everything. It may look like that, but he still cheated on her. He still didn't treat her any better than me, maybe for a few months or for a few weeks, but he couldn't continue because his character just started showing. So even if it looks good on paper, it's what is behind it that is truly what you should care about. And if someone has shown you their character, change is really, really rare in people. And especially with people like this who hurt other people constantly. If you are in a situation like this, don't be fooled. Just because something looks good doesn't mean it is actually great. Do not waste your energy on other people. Do not try to prove anything to them. Be there for yourself. Have compassion with yourself. Give yourself everything that you need. Whether this is a massive glow up or it is just downtime, sit back and watch them fuck up their own life. And also, if shit does happen to them, you don't have to be the bigger person and not be happy about it. Like, this person has caused you so much harm. If you see them failing, you can be happy about it. You can be happy about it. You don't have to have any bad conscience about this. Like, if they get what they deserve, it's okay to be happy about this, and it doesn't make you a bad person. This is your redemption, and you had to do nothing for it, so just take it in. You're fine. What will pay off is the good decisions that you make for yourself, because you don't have to hurt anyone else. You don't have to play with people. You continue making good choices for yourself. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and eventually you'll see opportunities and you'll take them. And you'll have the life that you always wanted, or even better. There are so many good things happening for you, and you can trust in that, believe me. Don't waste your energy on people who have proven to you that they don't deserve it. You're going to be fine, baby girl. I wish you all the best.